Shalom, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yashabrakatah, Shabbat Shalom, anybody in the chat. We're going to play some music and then we'll hand it over to the captain. Yahweh Shem Yashabrakatah. Okay, Concat. We'll hand it all over. Just Yahweh Shem Yashabrakatah, Shabbat Shalom, Mashbakah, and we hand it over to the cap.
Call hello. Shabbat Shalom, Mashbakah, Yahweh Shem Yashabrakatah. I'm the Nashia Yaslan, and today I got my reader as the mighty Malak Enoch.
Yahweh Shem Yashabrakatah.
And I also got the Ayash Tazabah Danyala. Khan, all praises. Today, we're going to be bringing forth Web 3.0. And some of you may not even know what that is. So it's my job as a watchman to teach what is already here and also what is to come. So when we think of a web, right, that's the main thing there. Now 3.0, it tells you there was things before it, right? You have 1, 2, and then we're at 3, right? So 3.0 is letting you know we've already made progress in this. And I'm not going to give it all the way yet, but I want us to take a look at, before I give you all the information, take a look at just the name in itself, Web 3.0. So a web, right? Think of a spider web. What's the purpose of the spider web? What's the purpose of it?
To catch prey.
To catch prey. The web can get you caught up in things that you shouldn't be in. And so that's the main purpose and focus, is to warn the people of what is here and what is to come. And it's a snare, it's a trap. But how do you get entrapped in it? It's through your desires, through your lust. Okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen. I have I think like a 23 slide presentation prepared for this, but I wanted you to take that into consideration, right? Web. Now, also we use the web as is better known as the internet, right? So we're going to be talking about the internet, but much more than that. We're not just looking at it on a minuscule scale. We're looking at it as a big picture, because there's a big picture when it comes to Web 3.0, and it has a lot more to do with your day-to-day life than you may even understand currently. And so again, I'm going to go into it and show you in depth how this is affecting us now and how this is affecting us in the future. And I want to say shalom to Sis Yanti, shalom to my rib, shalom to the Gamwan, double honors to him. Shalom Sis Zabaya, shalom to Zakaya, to the soldiers in there, call halal, Shabbat shalom, all praises. So let me go ahead and share my screen, family. Let me see real quick. All right, Khan. Let me bring that up in full. Let me just make sure that registered. I don't see it on screen. Officer, would you be able to bring it up, or maybe I don't have access currently? Or is it up there, Salakia? Okay, Khan. I think you just brought it up. All praises. So we can see here, Web 3.0. Again, you can see here, technology has a big part to do. It's not your typical spider web spun by a spider, right? This one has circuits and technology intertwined within it. And so we're going to show how this web is a snare, it's a trap, and how it has a major impact on gathering data on you and using it to get you caught up in this web, to get you caught up in this snare. It knows what strings to pull, right, to get you caught up in it. So let's go and get the explanation of Web 3.0. I'll be reading these parts as far as the scriptures. I'll be having Enoch and the soldier Daniela reading those. But let's take this real slow and get a good understanding, because this is, again, something that is practical, something that we use every single day. I'm using the web right now just to bring forth this lesson. And there's a whole bunch of components that go into even having this lesson put out on the internet. And so we'll be looking at some of those components throughout this. But you can see how you can use this to an advantage for a righteous purpose, but you can also use it for evil. Now, Web 3.0, or also known as Web 3, is the next generation of the internet, focusing on decentralized ecosystem built on blockchain technology, artificial intelligence, and edge computing. It shifts ownership of data from centralized corporations to individual users, enabling a read, write, interact model where users control their own digital assets and identities. So to break it down real slow, right? Focusing on decentralized ecosystem, right? A decentralized means that the ownership is spread abroad, right? to the users. When you see centralized, that means it's in one place or held by in power by a particular entity, right? That's why it says the centralized corporations. So right now in Web 2.0, which is what we're currently in, there's corporations that own the data, such as Facebook, Instagram, X, even the banks act as middlemen, right? So those are centralized corporations. But now in Web 3.0, there's a change, or at least they're giving you the illusion of a change in ownership. That's why it's called a decentralized ecosystem, where now you think, see, that's why I say it's an illusion. You think that you now have control over your own digital assets and identities. Now let me give you an example. Facebook is a middleman in a sense. If I want to go on there, I have to go through them. I have to log in order to be on their platform. And then when I'm on there, now I can interact with other users on that platform. But Facebook is the middleman between me communicating with another person on there. But they can deny me the right to be on there, which they have already done. I literally cannot log into my Facebook for whatever reason, because they just say that I'm banned for whatever reason. I don't even know why. So I don't have no control. I don't have no ownership there. All the stuff that's on there, it's still there on Facebook, but I have no access to it. I have no control. So with the Web 3.0, it's giving you the illusion that you will now have your control over your own digital assets, your own digital identity. Whereas right now in the Web 2.0, you have these centralized corporations that are controlling it. And so when we look at decentralization, right, data is stored in decentralized peer-to-peer networks. So there's no longer Facebook in the middle of me communicating with somebody, right? Rather than on single centralized servers controlled by one entity. And the way that we can do that is through blockchain. So we're going to go and get what blockchain is. Blockchain and tokenomics uses distributed ledger technology. And let me see real quick. Distributed, that's peer-to-peer. That's what it's talking about here. Peer-to-peer network, right? So I can directly communicate to somebody without a middleman. I don't need Facebook. I don't need Instagram. I don't need X. I don't need no middleman to help me connect to somebody. Okay. I can make direct peer-to-peer transactions with somebody with blockchain. And blockchain, basically think of it as a block, and it stores the data that you have online in that block, and it's public record that is stored online. And so it says, to ensure security and trustless, permissionless interaction. See, I need permission to go on to Facebook. They've denied me. They've banned me. So Web 3.0, they're saying that there is no more going to be no more middleman. You're going to be able to have permissionless interaction with people, often incorporating tokens for value exchange. Now, it's very important to take that into note. Tokens for value exchange. To give you an example, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a token. It's able to be exchanged for US dollars. It's able to be exchanged for things on the internet. So these are the tokens that we're talking about in this, and they're going to be utilized. This is going to be the currency in the Web 3.0. And then we have semantic web and AI. Web 3.0 aims to make data machine readable, allowing AI to understand analyze, and process information more intelligently for a more personalized user experience. Remember, I told you they're going to know how to pull those strings that get you. They're collecting and processing this information, and they're using AI to understand, analyze, process, and to give you what your desire is. It's looking, it knows what you're looking at. It's taking note of it, and it's gonna potentially even know you better than you know yourself. For some people, it's gonna study your habits. It's gonna give you what you're looking for. And so if you're lost and in darkness and in a lot of folly, it's gonna pick up on that. The Malak Kanawa said it's an echo chamber, right? It's just gonna keep giving you what you want, right? And it's not gonna tell you no different, right? It's not gonna correct you. It's not gonna rebuke you. It's not gonna give you something that would change you from being on the crooked path, right? Like a God-fearing man would give you that correction, give you that rebuke. No, instead it's analyzing, processing, and it's gonna give you what you want. It's gonna be a yes man for you. So we have to be aware of that it is tailoring all of our preferences to us. And that's not necessarily a good thing, depending on what type of individual you are. It says, and process information more intelligently for a more personalized user experience. You are using the web. Again, you can use it for your benefit, for a righteous cause, or you can use it for an unrighteous cause. And again, an example, I created this whole presentation utilizing different components on the internet. I used it for a righteous cause to be able to warn and teach my people about what is literally here at this moment and of things to come. I didn't use it for some folly. Okay, I didn't use the AI. You're going to see a lot of AI images throughout this entire presentation. But I'm not over there. I'm not over there creating folly images, right? I'm creating righteous images to be able to for my people to be able to visualize literally what is going on, right? And to be able to catch our people's attention so that they're drawn into understanding what the message of this lesson is all about. This is a warning. This is a warning to our people. And Khan Sisabai says, is it going to cater to your sin? Khan says it's going to cater to your sin. That's what this Web 3.0 is about. And we're going to see that as we go through this lesson. But I have to give you the understanding first of what I'm even talking about when it comes to Web 3.0. And so once you get a better understanding through this portion, then we can start getting into the scriptures. But before I go there, I want to lay down the basic foundation of what the 3.0 is, Web 3.0 is. So the next point is user sovereignty, right? Sovereignty meaning authority or power. So you're going to have authority, power. Users retain ownership and control over their data, privacy, and digital identities. You know how a lot of times when you go on a website and it says accept all cookies, a lot of people don't even know what that is. When you hit accept, they are now tracking and recording the data. Whatever you're doing on that website, it's taking note of what you're doing. You gave them permission to take that data and to sell it to other companies. So here they're pushing in the Web 3.0. They're saying you're going to be able to retain your ownership of your own and control over your own data, your privacy, and your digital identity. Right? Again, a lot of this is illusion. I don't see it playing out in this way. They're puffing it up and making it more than what it's really going to be. And that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion on that. And I'll give my reasoning on that too in a second. 3D graphics and connectivity employs spatial computing, 3D graphics, and AI to enhance user engagement, making the internet more immersive. And so, like Sister Baya said, is it going to cater to your sin? Yes, they are using spatial computing, which is merging digital data with the physical world. They are merging digital data with the physical world that we live in with 3D graphics, AI, and they're using these to enhance user engagement. They want to keep you engaged. So guess what? They are going to cater to your vices, your bad behaviors. Now, I'm not saying everybody has bad behaviors and they're looking up all the folly on the internet. I'm just saying for those that are, it's definitely going to cater to your sin. And you could even be tempted, and we're going to go into the scriptures later about that, but you're drawn away by your own lust. And you could, something could pop up, and now you're enticed. Now you're tempted, right? You're tempted by what you now got yourself into, and what it's in the name. You got caught up in the web. So it's tailoring and making it immersive to catch you, to trap you, right? You are the prey in this web. Now, the evolution of the web. Web 1.0. See, this was before my time. I came around in the 96. So I didn't know about Web 1.0. It was in the 1990s. It was read-only, static web pages, meaning the website you would see, you couldn't click on links to go to different websites and stuff like that. There was just, you would go to a website and it would just be information, basically like a book. You'd go to the web page and it'd be like a book. It was read only. That's all you could do on it, was just read the information that was there. Now in Web 2.0, the 2000s to the present, to this day, read, write. Now you can make comments. Somebody posts something, you can comment on it. Interactive, right? We got interactive. I make them, right, for the soldier classes, for the officer classes, captain classes. They're interactive tests. Social media and data aggregation by tech giants. So aggregation, they're collecting it and consolidating it as compact as possible, and they want that information, the tech giants, right? Because they're studying it, but more importantly, they're studying your behavior. They're studying the user's behavior, and they're finding the trends, and they're promoting the trends, right? They're creating and promoting the trends. But we can see that we are currently in the Web 2.0. Now, Web 3.0, notice what it says. It says future/current, because we're in this, we're in both right now, Web 2.0 and Web 3.0, but we're at the very beginning, at the cusp of Web 3.0. We've just barely started to get into it, right? There's a lot more to come, but we know AI is already here. We know spatial computing is already here. 3D graphics are already here. That they have blockchains already here. Tokenomics, right? Bitcoin is already here. All of these things are already in place, but again, we're in the transition from the Web 2.0 to the Web 3.0. And in the Web 3.0, you read, write, interact. It's decentralized, it's user owned and intelligent. And again, they're pushing the user owned, but at the end of the day, do you really own it? Is it really yours? There's always someone that's got some type of control over it. I'll give you an example. When we think of, and this will also be going into it a bit. If you think of the mark of the beast, right? It says no man will be able to buy or sell. So is that really owned by you if somebody has the permission or authority and power to be able to prevent you from buying and selling? That's not user owned then. You are still under some form of authority and control here on earth when you're utilizing this technology. Somebody can still shut you down. If it was user owned and you had full authority and sovereignty like it's claiming that you have, nobody would be able to come and shut you down. All right? So something to consider. I see what they're promoting here, but I know that it could get shut down at any time. Like we're in the web 2.0 right now, right? Like I said, I'm blocked out from my Facebook, right? And Gamon's got a precept in there. He said, regarding trends, Matthew 7:13, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many be which go in thereat. And Khan, that's a great point, because we're going to see in the scriptures there is going to be a lot of destruction that's going to proceed from this, what I'm talking about right now. So take note and try and pick up some of this understanding on what this Web 3.0 is all about. And I'm going to show you some more right now regarding, I'm going to give you like real life examples right now. But first, we are going to get our first scripture. So go ahead, Enoch. We're going to start in the book of 2nd Ezra.
2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 20. So I considered the world, and behold, there was peril because of the devices that were come into it.
Con. There's peril in this world because of what? The devices that were come into it. So I put the definition of device: a thing made or adapted for a particular purpose, especially a piece of mechanical or electronic equipment. Now look at the second definition as well: a plan, method, or trick with a particular aim. The web, right, is it's a trick. It captures you. You might be flying, you might not even know. It might be so thin that you don't notice it, right? Say the fly, right? Doesn't notice it, boom, lands right into it. In the aim of it was to capture it and devour the prey. So there was a purpose for the web, a particular purpose. It was to catch the prey and devour it, right? So we can see here Ezra's seeing and considering the world, and there's peril in it because of the devices that were come into it. Now, check this out. The most cited metric comes from the number of connected IoT devices. IoT means Internet of Things. So things that can connect, devices that can connect to the internet, right? This figure excludes traditional computing devices like laptops and smartphones, but includes every other connected gadget. In 2023, this number was estimated to be approximately 15 billion active devices. This was in 2023. 15 billion. When you add the roughly 7 billion active smartphones and tablets worldwide, the figure jumps to over 22 billion. Again, this was 3 years ago. 3 years ago, 22 billion devices on Earth. Mind you, there's around, from the numbers that they give, there's around 8 billion people on Earth. That's about almost 3 devices per person. So on average, each person has about 3 devices. I know I have a lot of devices in my house. I mean, even the oven connects to the internet. I can turn the oven on from my phone. You see how interconnected we are? More than we think. There's washers and dryers that can connect to the internet, right? You can start them off of your phone. We have laptops, we have TVs, even the robots that sweep the floor. Those things are connected to the internet. There's so many gadgets and, as it says, IoT devices out there, right? That can connect and serve a purpose, right? But there's peril in the earth because of the devices. Now, is it the device in itself that is the problem, or is it the user? That's something that you got to ask yourself. Is it the device in itself, or is it the user? Come on, what's Gamwan put? He said, Tim Berners-Lee, British computer scientist, invented the World Wide Web in 1989 while working at CERN. He created it to enable automated information sharing between scientists worldwide. Hello. And we know with CERN too that they got a evil agenda going on over there. Even the logo, if you look at it, is 666 on their logo. And they're over there making particle accelerators and just crazy stuff, right? And then they put the idol Shiva in front of their building or something like that. You know, I've seen the idol Shiva there, and just madness, right? And if for those that don't know what Shiva is, it was like a Hindu idol for destruction, right? So, but that's a great point, Gamwan, because notice what his why he created it. It says he created it to enable automated information sharing between scientists worldwide. We're going to be going into that right there, what Gamwan just put, because you have to understand the reason why they're doing what they're doing. Okay? They're trying to share information not on a local level, on a global level. And these devices are allowing for that to happen. And so in my creating of this lesson, it started to really remind me of a particular account in the scriptures, but I'm not going to give it away yet. We're going to go into it, but we'll get there in a moment. But just keep in mind what the Gamwan just posted on there. Let's go to the next. Now I'm going to give you some examples of Web 3.0. And some of us are already using it today. That's why it says current. It is current. We already have some of these things. I'll read this. A head-mounted display more fully immerses the users in a virtual world. A virtual reality headset, we also know as VR, typically includes 2 small high-resolution OLED or LCD monitors, which provide separate images for each eye for stereoscopic graphics, rendering a 3D virtual world. A binaural audio system, positional and rotational real-time head tracking for 6 degrees of movement. Options include motion controls with haptic feedback for physically interacting within the virtual world in an intuitive way with little to no abstraction, and omnidirectional treadmill for more freedom of physical movement, allowing the user to perform locomotive motion in any direction. So it's fully immersing you into a virtual world. You no longer are in reality. You are in virtual reality. You are taken somewhere completely different. And it's so lifelike in a sense because they're implementing more devices. To give you an example, the haptic feedback, for someone that might not know what the haptic feedback is, it's a physical, right? So I'll touch on it in a moment, but you will literally feel touch by the haptic feedback. It will send a signal to your muscles, right? I'll touch on that a little bit more coming up because I have something on that, but I just wanted to give you an example of how immersed it's really getting. It's not just you visually seeing it, it's you seeing it, hearing it, feeling it. You're getting the full body experience in this Web 3.0, right? In this VR, in this sense. And then also for the omnidirectional treadmill. If you ever seen those people running in place, they're on top of a treadmill. So they're actually literally getting physical movement inside of the virtual reality world. So they're getting you engaged as much as they possibly can to where you feel like you're literally in a whole nother world. Now, augmented reality, also known as AR. Now, before I read it, to give you a good example of this, now the VR, you guys already know there's a whole bunch of different VRs. What's it called? Apple came out with one. Sony has VRs. Meta has VRs. There's a whole bunch of different VRs out there. So I'm sure everyone, for the most part, that's nothing new to them, right? But with the AR, with the augmented reality, the best example I could give is Pokemon Go. For those that are aware of what that is, Pokemon Go, you can see here on the phone. So you're seeing through your phone. It's using your camera, and it's showing you what is literally in front of you. But now it's using 3D image and placing a Pokemon there, and now you're able to interact with that Pokemon that looks like it's literally right in front of you, and you can battle it, you can catch it, you know it. So it's immersing, it's bringing the digital world into the physical world, and that's what spatial computing does, right? Spatial computing merges digital data with the physical world. So that's what you're literally seeing on your screen is digital data, but now it's showing up as what it's giving the user what it wants to see, right? So you want to see Pokemon, that's what you're expecting, and that's what it's giving you. What kind of want to say, it's the devil's net, and unless you're walking in righteousness, you can get caught in it. That's right, and that's the point. You definitely can get. It's easy for you to get caught in there. Now let me read the not definition, but the summary of augmented reality. It is a type of virtual reality technology that blends what the user sees in their real surroundings with digital content generated by computer software. The additional software generated images with the virtual scene typically enhance how the real surroundings look in some way. In this case, it would be a Pokemon right there in front of you. AR systems layer virtual information over a camera live feed into a headset or smart glasses or through a mobile device, giving the user the ability to view three-dimensional images. Now you see a 3D Pokemon on your phone, right? But you can see how there's multiple devices. You can do it through a camera live feed. You can do it through smart glasses. You can do it through a mobile device. So it's catering to your liking. You might not want to do it on your mobile device. Now you can do it on your smart glasses, right? So it's giving you options. And there's that's the point of having many devices. People, let me give you an example. When I was younger and I played games, I preferred the Xbox. And I had friends that preferred the PlayStation. And so I would be playing the Xbox, but I wouldn't be able to play with the PlayStation users. But that was my preference. My preference was I like the Xbox better. I like the controller. This is the one that I prefer, right? So they're giving you options to choose from for your preference, even trying to basically draw you in with the choice of options, right? And so you can see here, there's options for you to get your desired outcome. Let me see. Okay. Now we just seen a VR, AR, and now we have I was talking about earlier, the haptic feedback. There's different ones, but I wanted to use this particular one for this this case. But there's another one called Baptics. I think that's Baptics, right? Which has haptics in it, but they put a B in front of it, Baptics. That's another popular one, but I use this one just because it probably would catch more people's attention and stuff. So the Tesla suit is a full body haptic suit with motion capture and biometric sensors made in 2016. Mind you, that's 10 years ago. So imagine what they have now. They had this back in 2016. I can only imagine how much more advanced it is now. Its haptic feedback system uses electrical muscle stimulation and transcutaneous electrical nerve stimulation to simulate feelings and sensations. Do you see how immersed they're trying to get you into this web? Where now you're putting on a whole, look like a wetsuit. You're putting on a whole suit, and you can see these blue dots that they have on the suit. So it's supposed to literally stimulate your muscle, and you're supposed to feel sensations, right? I mean, think about it, about the possibilities of adding this stimulation suit, right? The body haptic suit, right? I call it the stimulation suit. Imagine this paired with a VR where you're in virtual reality, putting yourself wherever you want to be and just having a full body experience. I don't want to go there yet. I'm going to get there. That can get you caught up to where you don't even want to leave this. You don't even want to leave this suit and glasses, right? Because you might take it off and you're like, man, I'm back in reality. My life sucks. Whoop-de-whoop. I got all these problems. Man, just get me back in the suit. Get me back in the game. Get me back in whatever I was doing. Now you're losing sight. You know, the Most High is not in all your thoughts. His word is not in all your thoughts. Now your thoughts is fully immersed in this virtual reality that has nothing to do with our purpose here on earth. Our purpose here on earth is to fear God and keep his commandments. You're over there occupied in a virtual world. And so, again, like we read in 2 Ezra 9 and 20, peril is coming to the world because of all of these devices. Now, twofold, right? People planning, but this is a plan, and I'm going to show this is a plan. This is a planned thing to get you caught up. What Kanawa said, they want the fake to feel real. And that goes into the scripture, I think it's Isaiah 5 and 20. Woe to them that call evil good and good evil, right? They call it the duality, right? They're flipping it, right? They're upside down, right? They're flipping it to where now you don't even want to be in reality no more. You want to be in virtual reality, right? You're trying to escape what is right in front of you. Yeah, Khan Ganwan said they make fake food too look real and taste real. Khan, with all those additives and chemicals and stuff like that, right? So they're definitely flipping everything upside down on us, and we have to be aware of this the the trick and plan that they have set against all of us on this earth. Honestly, it's against all of us. So let's go. Go ahead, Enoch.
2nd Ezra, chapter 9, verse 21. And I saw, and spared it greatly, and have kept me a grape of the cluster, and a plant of a great people.
All right, pause there real quick. So the Most High is watching and observing. And while all this peril is going on, the Most High says, I kept myself a grape of the cluster, a plant of a great people. You see this one grape? Remember, it says a remnant shall be saved. It says, broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many be which go in thereat. It's going to be a lot of destruction. A lot of people are going to get caught up in this web, and they're not going to be able to get out. But there is going to be a remnant saved, just like this grape. This one grape is going to get saved of the cluster. All right, go ahead to verse 22.
Verse 22. Let the multitude perish then, which was born in vain, and let my grape be kept, and my plant, for with great labor have I made it perfect.
Wow. He said, let the multitude perish then. That they were born in vain. Let them perish. Hey, we can warn them, right? This is a warning to everyone of what's going on right now. And if just letting you know, you get caught up, right? It's like telling somebody they're about to walk off the cliff and you say, hey, just letting you know, if you take 2 more steps, you're going to fall off. And they're like, nah, I don't care. And they just walk off. Hey, you tried, right? You warned them. And so this is a warning to the people. Come on, said the Matrix. Come on. So yeah, they want to stay asleep. They want to stay in the world. They don't want to wake up to reality, wake up to the truth. And so that's going to be the cluster. They're going to perish. The multitude is going to perish. But there's going to be a remnant, and they're going to be saved. For with great labor have I made it perfect. It's work to be in this truth. It's work to live in reality. We live in reality. Life and death is before us every day. You don't know when it's your last moment. And now people are escaping reality and going to a virtual world. All right. So we have to be aware of this because it's easy to be led astray. It's easy to lead to your own understanding and start justifying. I have a short clip talking about justifying your sin. You can easily start justifying what you're doing on these, in the web 3.0, why you're there, right? You can easily start justifying it, but you got to be truthful to yourself. All right. Do you really have a righteous reason for being there? Like for me using the AI, right? I have a righteous reason to be utilizing the AI. I made this image from AI. Now I look at the visual I get to show the people of the cluster and look at the good visual representation of this one grape, this remnant over here set aside from the rest. This is the multitude perishing. This is the remnant that is perfect and being saved. But I got to use the AI to, put something that, the Most High put in my brain to put it for people to actually visually see. So you can use it for good, but beware of, and as we always talk about, examine yourself to make sure you're utilizing it for a righteous cause. Now, let's go to Jude.
Jude chapter 1, verse 23. And others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh.
So the purpose of this lesson is to warn people and to save them with fear, right? When I first, before I even came into the truth, I was drawn to the mysteries and the just like you wanted to know how evil and wicked the world could be, right? I wanted to see all the secrets and stuff like that, right? I was into what is it, subliminal messages and things like that from a young age. I would watch all that stuff, and you really got to see that there were people hiding messages, and what was the purpose of them hiding messages and being crafty and deceitful, and what was the reasoning behind all this? What was the reasoning behind all these messages, right? There's evil men in the background with an agenda, and so I understood that from a young age. There's agendas out there that are not for our benefit, right? They're not for our prosperity, right? It's to keep us oppressed, to keep us in a state of hell, right? So that's something that I was into from a young age, but then I realized there's a flip side to the coin. It's not just all evil and bad. What's the other side? The righteousness, the good, right? So how do I find that? How do I obtain that? And so that was something. It was a journey, right? From my young age of looking into all of that, and then the Most High led me to finally, receiving the truth. But that was something that was drawing me towards the truth, was knowing of the evil. And so me being aware of and having a vision of things to come and knowing how bad it's really going to get, even the scripture tells us it's going to be the worst times ever. And so we want to save others with fear and let them know, hey, you got to come out of this world. You can't take pleasure in this. You can't take joy in this. You got to come out of it. You might end up becoming a part of that cluster when you were supposed to be that grape. You were supposed to be that remnant. But you got caught up in the web and you never came out. And so we want to save our people with fear, pulling them out of the fire. You see this person, he's caught up in the web. Literally. This is Web 3.0. He's got the VR on. He's got the controllers, right? He's in it. He don't even know that he's on fire right now. Look at his mouth. He's like fully immersed into it, not even realizing he's in the flames. And we got to pull our people out of this, hoping that they don't want to be a part of this world, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh, right? This is, you could be in the flesh in this Web 3.0, fulfilling the desires of the flesh in here. And that varies because everybody has their own lusts, their own desires, right? So it can really vary. But you can be out there blemishing your garment and not even realize it. And so again, this is a warning, and hoping that if somebody sees this will keep them from getting caught up in the web, right?
Not just the fire, but they even hate your fringes, your garments. They don't even want to see it.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it in that sense, but go ahead, Jeremiah.
Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Mm-hmm. Verse 10. I, the Lord, search the heart. I try the reins, even to give every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings.
Con. The heart is deceitful above all things. You can be deceived into being a part of this web, right? You can become prey in this web because of your deceitful heart. Okay? It's desperately wicked. Who can fully understand it? The Lord searches your heart. He tries your reins. And guess what? He's going to give every man according to his ways. Was your ways caught up in another world? Fantasizing in another world? Because again, it's tailored. This web is tailored for your engagement. It's literally taking track of everything that you are searching up, looking at, spending time on. It even knows how long you've been looking at something. Like if it's sitting there on a particular video, it's keeping track of these things. Oh, he watched this video for 30 seconds longer than he normally does with other videos. What drew him to this? Okay, we're going to push this content to him now because he watched this one longer. And so now that's the content that's popping up. Every man, he's giving every man according to his ways and according to the fruit of his doings, the work of your doings. You're in there. You ever heard of someone saying, I'm putting in work when they're playing a game? I'm putting in work right now. Okay. You've been on the game for 8 hours now. What work did you put for the kingdom? What work did you put for in reality? That person might have kids. Did you even teach your kids anything today? Did you even spend time with them today? Did you put food on the table? Some of us know people like that where they, it's just you're not putting in the work. You're not providing as we're supposed to. You're not out there seeking and putting the kingdom first. Like especially as a man, as the head of a household, we have obligations, priorities that we have to attend to. So if our time is and our the fruit of our doings is all put into this virtual reality, what are you really getting out of that? It's going to all be in vain. Think about for those that can relate. You put a lot of time, effort into a game. I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, I really liked playing Modern Warfare 2, right? Call of Duty. Put tons of hours. I'm talking about when I was a kid, like, I don't know, 13 years old, 14 years old. I'd stay up until like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. gaming all night long. I had, all the titles, all the gun camos, all the weapons, all the, I knew all the glitches and all that into the game. Then comes the next Modern Warfare. Then comes the next Call of Duty game. And you don't even play that old game no more. All that time, all that work, all that effort, it was in vain. What do you have to show for it? We know in this truth that our riches are stored up in heaven. So the work that we put here on earth is going to be stored up where moth and rust cannot corrupt. It's going to be there for you. But here, you can put all this time and energy into the web, and it's in vain. You see, what I put all the time and energy into creating this lesson, it's not going to be in vain, because this is going to go, hopefully, most high willing, go to teach somebody and prevent them from falling into the web, falling into lust, right? And unrighteousness, right? And committing iniquity in it. But all my time and efforts, my compensation is going to be in the kingdom of heaven. So the only one that could take it from me is the Most High if he doesn't allow me in, right? But I know that there's a reward waiting for me if I am one of the elect and I do make it to the kingdom, right? So I know that there's a reward waiting for me and that this work will not go in vain. Whereas all the time and effort we put into this world, is vanity. I mean, you go read Ecclesiastes. That's what a lot of what Solomon was talking about in Ecclesiastes. He's like, man, I put all this time and effort into all this work, and it's all vain. Because guess what? I'm gonna just pass it on to somebody else, and who knows what he's gonna do with it. That's what he said. Who knows what he's gonna do with it? He might blow it all. You know people that get an inheritance and they don't know how to take care of it and manage it right. They blow it, and it was all in vain. It was all a waste. All that person's life work passed on to the next, and they just don't know how to utilize it properly, and they blow it, right? So the Most High is searching the heart, trying the reins, and going to give everyone according to his ways. So take note of where your time, effort, and energy is invested into. Are you doing Matthew 6:33? Are you seeking the kingdom first, and then all these things will be added unto you? Or are you in the world and then kind of trying to come into the truth a little bit, but mostly you're in the world, right? You can't be lukewarm. You can't be serving two masters, right? So we have to take note of these things. And all of this is applicable, brothers and sisters. All of this is applicable. This is literally something that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. Go ahead.
Sirach chapter 42, verse 18. He seeketh out the deep and the heart, and considereth their crafty devices. For the Lord knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world.
Come. This is a sign to us. I mean, look at these people. Look like they're under hypnosis. They look like they're mind controlled. I mean, you think about the TV, right? Tell a vision. They're telling you their vision of what they want you to know. They call it a program. You turn to channel 54. I used to turn to channel 54 all the time as a kid. They're channeling something into you. Channel 54, which was Cartoon Network. I would watch that all the time. I was being programmed. Here's your programming. This is what they want me to learn. This is what they want me to know. This is what they want to be in me, right? And so this is a sign of the world. People are being programmed. And now it's getting even more frightening because of the artificial intelligence. Before, it would be more difficult for them to tell, right? They could see the views and how long people are watching and things like that, right, on the TV. And so they would know what to put out there, what was popular, what wasn't. Now they have feedback, data, right? We talked about the centralized corporations taking track of everything. When you hit that accept cookies, they're tracking everything. And so now they know exactly what to give you and tailor it to your likening. And so here we see the Most High seeks out the deep. He's checking the heart, and he's considering their crafty devices. He's allowing it. The Most High is allowing it. Again, Khan got one. We're gonna be grabbing that one very shortly. All praises. Now, he's considering their crafty devices. He allowed them to make these crafty devices, but I don't want to just look at the bad side. Again, look at the bright side. If you can use this for a righteous cause, like think about the ease that I have being able to type in a scripture on Google, and now I found the scripture that I was looking for. Whereas if I didn't have that tool and I had to go in the Bible, right, I had to open up and I'm looking for a particular verse, and it could be in any book. I might not even know. But in the same breath, it could be a crutch. You get what I'm saying? It could be a crutch to us because now we want to open up all the time. We want to open up Google all the time and search it instead of actually just knowing where it's at. So you see what I'm saying? It could be a crutch too, though. So we have to beware of how we're using it. It's great. It's a great tool to be able to go and find it real quick and boom, got it. All praises. But then also it takes away from us, having that skill of just pulling it, So beware, right? They have crafty devices that are designed to get you trapped in that web, right? For the Lord knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. So this is a sign to us, right? How all of these AI is getting so much more intelligent. Artificial intelligence is getting more intelligent. It's evolving into something that at this point only the Most High could stop it, right? If he wanted to, but he's allowing it for a reason. And it's growing at an alarming rate, and to the point where we see mass layoffs of people that can no longer pay their their bills, pay their mortgage, put food on the table, and they become dependent on government assistance because of all the mass layoffs. You have to think about all the ripple effect of what's going on right now. And it's not going to get better for us. It's going to get worse, to the point where the machines, the AI technology is going to do things better for the most part than we can do. So what does that leave us left with work? Now people need jobs, money, so they can pay for food, pay for housing, clothes, all that stuff. It's going to cause a revolt, but it's also causing dependency. People now becoming dependent on the government instead of being dependent on the Most High. And it's gonna it's called the Hegelian dialectic, where they plan for something to happen, they cause it to happen, and they already have the solution prepared. So they're the ones that plan to create these crafty devices. And now there's a problem. The problem is people are losing their jobs. I mean, I don't know for those that haven't been, watching in the news and stuff, but they've been laying off tens to hundreds of thousands of people from like warehouses and jobs similar to that. Where do all those people go and get work at now? Or who do they depend on now? They go and apply for government assistance. And so there's the solution is, okay, here's the government assistance, but eventually it's going to go to a different solution. And that different solution, we're going to be getting that pretty soon at the end. Well, I'll give it to you right now, though. But the different solution is going to be the UBI, the Universal Balanced Income, because at some point, there's not even going to be no more jobs for you to have, because the robots are going to be doing it all. The AI is going to be doing it all. They don't even need receptionists. Think about call centers. Every time I call in to talk to customer service now, it's an AI robot that I have to speak to. It's not even a human no more. So that human doesn't even have that job no more. The AI has the job. So what happens when, there's just no more jobs left? And then that causes a what? A civil war, a civil unrest. And so they're going to be seeking for dependency on what? Here's the solution. Here's a universal balance income. Here you go. Take this, Mark. Take this. Here's a way for you to solve your problem. But you gotta sell out for it though. See, that's the thing that you have to be aware of, is you're selling out to the world, right? And they're implementing it in phases. And I'm going to show you one of the phases coming up pretty soon. It's actually already here. So now I was talking about an account that this reminded me of. So for those of you that know Genesis 11, here it is. Go ahead, Enoch.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 1. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech.
Right. With AI, you can speak any language with AI. I mean, just think about it. I know we become desensitized to truly how much we're able to actually do with this technology. I mean, think about in Acts when the Holy Spirit came upon them and they started speaking in tongues. That was a miracle. Everyone was so in awe that happened. And that was through the Spirit. That was divine, right? But here we have the whole earth was of one language. This was during the Tower of Babel, right? And they were of one language and one speech. We literally can all speak the same language right now. Like I can go to Google Translate and translate into whatever language I want, give it to somebody, and they can do the same back to me. And now I have a full on conversation with somebody using technology, right? Even when it comes to our classes, like we were talking about making I can't speak Spanish. I know some words, but I couldn't speak it fluently. But with the technology online, I can record a whole video and have it translated into Spanish. Now it costs a lot of money, but it can still be done, right? So think about that. You know how that wouldn't even have been possible, a couple years ago, right? So it's very interesting. But we're getting back to this where we were at in Genesis 11. They were of one speech, one language. Go ahead.
Verse 3. And they said one to another, Go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. Verse 4. And they said, Go to, let us build us a city, and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth.
Khan. So in Genesis 11, this is talking about building the Tower of Babel, right? Babel meaning confounded, because the Most High confounded the language, right? Because they were building a tower unto heaven, right? They were trying to, in a sense, fight against God, right? They were contrary to the Most High. And they wanted to make a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. They wanted to come together. They wanted, but not for a righteous cause. And so it's the same thing with this Web 3.0. They're bringing, see, when the web, it's spread, right? But then it comes to the center where it is the most compact, the most tight. And normally the prey would be within that center, right? And so it was the same thing happening in Genesis 11. They were coming together, but for an unrighteous purpose. Okay? They were against the Most High. But look at the accomplishments that they were able to achieve because they came together. And it's the same going on this day. I put this picture. It's called a One World Trade Center in New York. It's the tallest building in America at 1,776 feet, which is symbolic for the Declaration of Independence that was signed by the 13 colonies on July 4th, 1776. They gained independence from Britain, right? So Very interesting, right? Symbolic. They even put it in the actual measurements of the building itself, for it to be symbolic like that. It serves as a modern office building for media, finance, and tech companies, and includes broadcast facilities, while also serving as a significant economic hub and symbolic landmark for New York City. Symbolic landmark. The Tower of Babel was a symbolic landmark. Nothing new under the sun. One World Trade Center. They're trying to centralize everything. And again, when you see Web 3.0, they're talking about decentralization, and that's why I'm like, I don't know about all that. I don't know about all this decentralization. They're trying to give power to the people when we know it's just an illusion. And really, they're focusing on centralizing, this information, and ultimately, they are contrary to the Most High, like they were in Genesis chapter 11 when they were building the Tower of Babel. So this is all being rebuilt again, being brought back, nothing new under the sun. Here they are again. And then there's another, the world's tallest building is the Burj Khalifa in Dubai, right? So it's like 2,776 feet. It's ridiculous. It's like 1,000 feet taller than this one. Just ridiculous. But you see what they're able to accomplish when they come together. But they're not coming together for a righteous cause. They're coming together for unrighteousness. This is the world coming together.
John chapter 8 verse 44. Ye are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father ye will do. He was a murderer from the beginning, and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaketh a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar, and the father of it.
Pause there. So the web, right, is a web of connections that brings you to a center. How is the world connected? Right here. Ye are of your father, the devil. You're an offspring. You're of your father, the devil, a deceiver. And the lusts of your father ye will do. That's why we see the cluster being the multitude that was born in vain, that is set for destruction. The Gamon brought it out earlier in Matthew 7 and 13. Broad is the way that leads unto destruction. It's wide. It's going to be a lot. It's going to be a multitude. And they have a father here, and their father is the devil. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth. They don't want to be in the truth. They want to stay asleep. They want to be a part of the world because there is no truth in him. So if there's no truth in him, there's no truth in you. When he speaks a lie, he speaks of his own. Remember, that's what I was telling you with the Web 3.0, they talk about decentralization, but that's a lie. He speaks of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. So they want to, their words are as smooth as butter, but there is a sword drawn behind their back. You're just prey at the end of the day. Now, for us in this truth, how are we connected? 1 Corinthians.
1 Corinthians chapter 8 verse 6. But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him.
To us that are servants of the Most High, that care for righteousness, that care to serve our Father, that care to keep his law, statutes, and commandments, and have the faith of Christ, we are in him, right, in the Father, and one Lord, Yahushua HaMashiach, by whom are all things, and we by him. He is the mediator for us. No man can go to the Father but through the Son. That is how we are connected to our Father. For the world, their father is the devil. And they're going to go and follow after their lusts. They're going to go and be in the web and enjoy it until their time is up. For us, our connectivity. Hey, long time no see, Quincy. What's happening? Always on time. All praises. Good to see you, Q. Long time no see. All praises. Good to have you in here, though. So our connectivity is through the Son to the Father. All right. For those that are walking in righteousness. Okay. For those that are saints of the Most High. But for the world, their connectivity is through their father, the devil. All right. And they're going to do the lust of their father. Right. And the lust of their father is designing and having all of these crafty devices to have people entangled in it. Right.
Genesis chapter 11, verse 5. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men builded. Verse 6. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one.
Ooh, is what?
Is one. And they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them, which they have imagined to do.
Yep. And like Sis Yanti said, the UN building, what does the UN stand for? United Nations. The people is one. What do you think they're trying to do in the United Nations? They're trying to unite everybody to being one. They call it the One World Order, right? What is it? Novus Ordo Seclorum. It's on the dollar bill. New World Order. Trying to make it become one language, right? Even in religion, they even have artificial intelligence religion where they worship AI. People are worshiping AI right now. It's madness. But the Lord came down to see the city, the Tower of Babel, which the children of men builded. Again, these are ye are of your father, the devil, right? They're building something to be against the Most High. And the Lord said, Behold, the people is one. They are one. Okay, it's very important. They are connected. What is their connection together? It's evil. It's wickedness. The cluster is one. And they have all one language. And this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. The heart is desperately wicked above all things. They're going to go and create the wildest fantasies they could ever even imagine in this earth. And I don't want to see my brothers and sisters caught up in it, because it's going to get worse and worse and worse. And so this is a warning to our people. Now I want to get the definition of internet. A global computer network providing a variety of information and communication facilities consisting of interconnected networks using standardized communication protocols. So the internet is interconnecting globally, a global computer network. So now, remember, they didn't want to be spread to the the ends of the earth. Or let me grab it for, real quick. Lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Yeah, that's basically what I said. Paraphrasing. They didn't want to be scattered abroad upon the face of the whole earth. Why? How would they be able to communicate with one another? How would they be able to build if they're scattered abroad? But if they're together and they are one, they can achieve something. And so we see here with the internet, the web 3.0, they are now interconnected on a global scale. And who knows what they can accomplish? I mean, we're literally seeing some stuff that just doesn't even make sense. Like the Neuralink, right? Someone that can't even talk can now, they have a thing implanted in their brain. And now that person They hook it up, like you would to an outlet to their head, and now that person is talking on a screen through an AI avatar. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just mind blowing. And who knows how much further the Most High is gonna allow them to take it. It's gonna continue to increase and just be to some enticing. It can entice you, for sure. It can tempt you.
Another thing is, I heard Mr. Beast, he's just like Elon Musk. He's making his own microchips. He said in one of his videos, he has a kid channel, so all of those kids are seeing. He made some like chip, and he put it. It was like showing like he put the chip in like someone's brain, and then I guess they get smart. And then another thing, he went to like some scientist lab, and they said that they don't even have to slaughter chicken.
Oh yeah, I seen that one. Yeah. Something about it's fake chicken. I mean, yeah, it's like it's bioengineered, right? They even put it on your there was that big thing with Campbell's, right? Where they have bioengineered food in or meat in that, right? So it's made out of it's a science experiment, and you're consuming it. Why are we consuming science experiments? Right? We need that natural, what the Most High created, not some GMO science experiment, right? So yeah, I mean, I did see a little something about that, but they use these influencers to push the agenda, and you can see they're targeting the children. And so we as parents and adults have to care to teach our people, not just the children, but our people, right from wrong, and warn them of this trap and snare that they have set up for us. Yeah, let's keep going, Enoch. Proverbs
chapter 1 verse 29. For that they hated knowledge and did not choose to fear the Lord. Verse 30. They would none of my counsel. They despise all my reproof. Verse 31. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices.
So we're putting out knowledge. Don't hate on it. Receive it. Choose the fear of the Lord. Receive counsel. Don't despise the Most High's reproof. We're hoping that you can do that and prepare yourself. Prepare yourself for these trials and tribulations that are at hand right now. And if you don't, you're going to become like this person in Proverbs 1 and 29 to 31. Therefore, shall they eat of the fruit of their own way and be filled with their own devices. You're breaking the first commandment. You're putting you're putting something above the Most High. If you're filled with your own devices, that means all your time, energy, efforts is focused on that device that has now become your God. You can't serve two masters. It's you're serving the Most High or you're serving the world. And here we can see you're going to eat of the fruit, that's your works, of your own way. So if you choose to go that direction, you're going to be filled with all the lusts of your heart. And we already know, we've seen the heart is desperately wicked. You're going to lead yourself down a rabbit hole that you may not be able to return from. You might get caught up in that web and never return. But this is a warning to our people to hope and pray that they don't end up trapped in that snare and become part of the cluster. Now, let me give you some reality. Go ahead.
Proverbs chapter 28, verse 12. When righteous men do rejoice, there is great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hidden.
All right. Whew. All right, let's do this. When the wicked rise, a man is hidden. The world is given into the hands of the wicked. The wicked are in rulership, they're in authority, they're in the high places right now. You see this man sitting here, right? I'm going to explain to you what this is. Hikikomori. Hikikomori. Slakia, let me pronounce that right. Refers to a Japanese phenomenon where individuals estimated between 500,000 and over 1 million isolate themselves at home for months or years, avoiding work, school, and social contact, primarily affecting young people, but increasingly middle-aged individuals. This severe social withdrawal is driven by intense pressures, fear of failure, bullying, and mental health issues. Notice, there's one thing that they don't mention in here. I mean, there may be others, but one thing that I noticed that they did not mention in here. A lot of, and I've watched documentaries on this particular phenomenon. A lot of it is not even from what they're saying in this. Yes, that's true what they're saying, but that I'm not seeing that as a major reason why. A major reason why a lot of these people are doing what they're doing is because they are devoting themselves to the internet, to games, to whatever device it is that they have devoted themselves to. That's what's going on. And they're not leaving their rooms. They're literally peeing and pooping in that same room, not leaving. Peeing in bottles, pooping in, like, it's just feces everywhere. Like, it's that bad. This is a reality. And it's not just in Japan. Don't think, oh, okay, this is just happening over there in Japan. This is a global epidemic that, you know, you don't hear a lot about, or I don't feel like people hear a lot about it. But I understand that this is a case, and I have seen it with particular individuals that are very reclusive and withdrawn because they don't care to go and socially interact with people. They don't care to go and be in the real world and, you know, get, you know, you ever heard of the saying, where do you think the saying, go and touch grass? They're saying that for a reason. That means that you don't go outside. You're literally trapped, right? Let's see what Sis Dorothy says. She said, that's awful, but it's been going on long before the internet. They used to call those types of people hermits. And that's another concept, Dorothy. That's another, I was going to bring that out too. Yeah, you call them hermits, but that's true. But guess what? Now they are catering to these people to where now they have even more of a reason to stay at home in their room and isolating themselves, right? Because they have something that is giving them a dopamine hit and they're addicted to something. And they're caught in the web and they enjoy it and they're addicted to it. Like I said, it could be Call of Duty. It could be watching movies. It could be playing games. It could be a gambling addiction online. It could be so many different things. Khan Q said, that's me. I don't care to go socially interact with people. Right. But our Father calls us to go and hit those highways and byways and teach our people and wake them up. So we have a duty as servants of the Most High to go and interact with our people. Scriptures tell us we're supposed to come and reason together. That takes interaction to come and reason together, right? So we have a job to interact and not isolate ourselves. And so you can see in Proverbs 28 and 12, it says, when the wicked rise, a man is hidden. And remember, I was talking about the artificial intelligence taking the jobs, right? You're taking away someone's, and now I'm just talking in the worldly sense, right? Now we know our purpose, right? Fear the Most High, keep the commandments. But someone that doesn't understand that, and it's just they know what the world has taught them, their purpose is to go and work, and that is their purpose. And their job here is, jobs used to be meaningful, and you would take, pride and joy in what you did, right? And some people still do, but it started to slowly, move away from that. And now you're just like, a lot of people have a bad spirit when it comes to working, right? And just unthankfulness of it. But when they take all of this away and now you have no more purpose, what are you left with? Well, now people turn to this, to where, they do feel the intense pressure. I mean, we live in California. There's an intense pressure of everything being so expensive, and prices are just insane. And it could easily cause somebody to just be like, yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm just not going to be a part of society. People are living in their cars. They're like, yeah, I'm going to just live in the car, or I'm just going to be homeless, and make it work however I can make it work, and just totally give up. And they have that fear of failure. But perfect love casts out fear. These are the things that a lot of people don't understand. But when we're in this truth and we can receive all this information and wisdom and knowledge and understanding, it helps us be able to deal with situations like this, so we don't become like this, become reclusive and isolate ourselves. But this is the web, and this is the trap that it's setting, is to get people. Imagine when you're on that VR and you have this haptic suit on, where are you going to be at? You're going to be most likely in a room secluded with nobody around you. You're literally escaping reality and going to a virtual reality. So this is where society is headed. And a lot of people are becoming like a hikikomori, which is, again, the Japanese phenomenon of people who isolate themselves. And it's not just happening in Japan, it's happening on a global scale. Okay, some of us may know somebody in our lives that, like, yeah, we just never see that person. I haven't seen that person in like a year. They just stay in their room. And what does that mean? That they have somebody enabling them to be able to even live that lifestyle. Something is enabling them to live that lifestyle, right? Like for my children, I won't tolerate that in my household, right? You're going to have purpose. You're going to have work. There's going to be things for you to do, right? It won't be tolerated. So, but for some people that are able to live that lifestyle, usually there's somebody that is enabling them to be able to live that lifestyle. And this is where, unfortunately, a major part of society is headed, and they're getting people addicted to this lifestyle.
Matthew chapter 24, verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. Verse 12. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Verse 13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sis Dorothy. Yeah, there is some strange people in this world, and a lot of socially awkward people, and it takes effort to interact. And then even then, like you said, you have a small circle, because there is going to be a remnant saved, and you are finding that small, even myself, I'm the same. I have a small circle. I'm dealing with those that primarily are in the truth, and then when I'm not dealing with those in the truth, the reason why I'm going out into the world is to try and warn our people, to try and teach them and preach to them. And that's the only time I'm really going out. But even then, you gotta. He says, "I send you as sheep amongst wolves." So we're going in as sheep amongst wolves, having to be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. And so, coming to Matthew 24, many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. Like Enoch talked about, Mr. Beast promoting this beast system. He's a false prophet. He's over here telling the kids that it's great, and he's deceiving them. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. Like we just seen with that Japanese phenomenon, they don't have no love. Their love has waxed cold because of iniquity. They have removed themselves from society. They don't even want to deal with nobody. And this could be us. Most High willing, it's not, but think about it. You could be this person. Your love could wax cold. Now you just want to exclude yourself from everybody. I don't want to deal with nobody. I've been hurt too much. I'm going to just turn to this addiction, and this is where I find my peace. This is where I find, this is my getaway, where I don't have to live up to expectations. I don't have to deal with the problems of the world, and I don't have to face reality. People's love will start to wax cold because of what? Iniquity. Because when you're in this web, that's what I'm saying. What are you doing in the web? You know what you're doing. You know what you're looking at. And if you're supposed to be looking at it or not. You know if you're supposed to have those thoughts or not. I'm not you, but I'm just saying, you ask yourself this question. Because if you start getting caught up in it, guess what? The experience is going to become more enhanced, and it's going to be more enticing, and it's going to be more tempting. How far are you going to go before you get to the point of no return? But of course, we know we can repent and, receive the blood of Christ. But you have to come out of the world. You have to want to come out of the world. Some people don't want to come out. They want to stay asleep. They want to stay in the world. They don't want to face reality. And that's why verse 13 is very important. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved. We're going to have to endure all these trials and tribulations. You think it's not tempting to go and escape and just put on a VR and just tune everything out? Yeah, that's tempting. But I'm not doing it. I got to face reality. Face what's in front of me. I have a job. I have a mission. I have a duty. Right? I have to endure all of this so that I can be saved. And not just me, but I'm hoping the same for you. Yes, Yanti said, it's very sad. I also have a small circle, and some of those are virtually close to me more than the other people who are physically near Khan. Yeah, and that's tough in itself when you have a better relationship with those that are on, virtual, like over the internet, right? Than those that are actually right there with you. But, most high willing, you can work on those relationships with those that are near you, right? Work on those, getting them better, and may the Most High send you somebody where you have that loving relationship in this truth, and you're able to deal with somebody and meet up in person, because it is obviously better when we are able to actually hold our give hugs and salute and all of that to in person rather than over a screen. But still thankful for the the devices that the Most High has allowed us to use for righteous purposes, such as, I mean, look, I'm able to see sis Yanti, sis Dorothy on here commenting. They're able to receive a whole lesson through this device, so it can be used for a righteous purpose. But you see, many, their love is going to wax cold because they're not using these devices properly, and their iniquity is abounding. And the iniquity is abounding through what? Through their lusts, through their desires, and they're making the user engagement that much more, to where you're just gonna get further and further into it. Right? So let's keep going, Enoch.
Jeremiah chapter 18 verse 12. And they said, there is no hope, but we will walk after our own devices, and we will every one do the imagination of his evil heart.
Man. Whew. That's the mindset of the cluster, of the multitude, of those that will perish. They said there is no hope. Imagine living your life like that, saying there is no hope. We have plenty of hope. For those that are in this truth, we hope that we're going to be saved, that Christ come back and redeem us, and be the King of Kings that he is, and that we make it to the kingdom, and that we have no more pain, no more tears, no more sorrow. We have hope. These people don't. Khan, sis Dorothy said, I have hope. That's right, Khan. But we will walk after our own devices. That's why I said, when I was younger, I chose the Xbox. There was other people who chose the PS4. There was other people that chose the GameCube. There's devices out there. What if you want to use a PC? If you want to use an Xbox? If you want to use the Switch? If you want to use VR? If you want to use AR? If you want to, there's devices out there for you. What do you want to use? You want to use the whole body suit? You want to use the Tesla suit? Go for it. That they have devices catered to your liking, and we will everyone do the imagination of his evil heart. They are gonna follow after their own pleasures, their own desires, their own lusts, and they're not withholding themselves. There's nothing holding them back. They're following their own imaginations, and the devices are there to allow them to get the experience that they are desiring, that they are yearning for. And they're going to go and fulfill all their desires of their evil hearts. That's what the multitude is going to do. It's just the reality of it. Again, the device. What are you going to do? Follow after your evil heart? Or are you going to use it for a righteous purpose? You choose. Life or death. Now, I got this, Enoch. We opened up with tokenomics, so I want to explain that. Tokenomics, a blend of token and economics, refers to the economic principles, design, and mechanisms governing a cryptocurrency or digital assets supply, distribution, and utility within a blockchain ecosystem. All right. Tokenized virtual reality refers to the integration of blockchain technology into virtual worlds where digital assets such as land, items, avatars, and experiences are converted into unique tradable tokens, typically NFTs, on a blockchain. This approach allows for true ownership, allowing users to buy, sell, and monetize their virtual assets and creations across different platforms. Let me give you an example. Meta. they have a headset. If I'm just giving, I don't know 100%, but I know this is where it's headed. You put on a headset and you have a virtual world, and you can create this world, but you have to use cryptocurrencies or digital assets, right? And that's why they call them NFTs. And it's all on a blockchain. It's all stored within a, basically think of a cube, right? It's all stored within that cube, and it belongs. That's why they say you have ownership. You have ownership of it, right? So you can choose what to do with that cube that has that specific asset. That asset could be a couch in the virtual world, and you can choose to utilize that couch and put it, you can have a house in the VR. And now in that house, you have this couch that you've always desired. You wanted this lime green couch with fur. And so now you have this lime green couch with fur on there, right? And you can take it and put it into a token. And now that token, you can literally sell it to somebody else in exchange for something, a cryptocurrency or a digital asset, right? You can sell it, trade it. And so now I took my lime green couch and I traded it for somebody's water fountain, right? Now I have a water fountain, a water feature. And so in front of my house, now I put this water feature, and I no longer have my lime green couch. So now I want to buy another couch. This is all literally on the VR. You're creating your own world in this tokenized virtual reality. You can create whatever you want in this world, as long as it's available, and accessible, then yeah, you can create it. As long as you have the funds to buy it, it's you can create as you want. Think about in a sense Minecraft, right? You can pretty much spawn different things and build something that you see fit. Whatever your imagination allows you to think, you can create it there. But now more in a how would I say, realistic way, in a more realistic, because obviously when you play Minecraft, you can see it's like pixels, right? It's pixelated, it's blocks. But now it's literally like seeing yourself, right? Like looking at your hands, your body, and everything. And now you don't even have to look as I look right now, right? You can literally buy your eyes. Think of for those that have ever played the Wii, right? The Wii, you have they call it a me avatar, right? And you can change his eye color, you can change the squinty eyes, big eyes, eyebrows, hair, how tall you are. You can change all that stuff. It's the same thing when you have this tokenized virtual reality. You no longer have to look like you. You can look like whoever you want to look like in the tokenized virtual reality. You just got to pay for it. You can have whatever house you want, whatever car you want, whatever animals you want, whatever land you want, right? It's available for you, and you can receive it, but at what cost? At what cost will you receive these things? And now you're immersed in something that has taken your full entire attention, life, time, effort, everything, energy, all of that is invested. And now this has become your God. The Most High is no longer in your thoughts. Your thoughts is of this virtual reality world. Khan, says Dorothy said, real is about to become priceless. That's facts right there. All right, so I'm showing you guys and like explaining to you, hopefully well. And what's she say? You are reminding me of two movies, Total Recall and The Matrix. Also watch Player Ready 1, and I think there's another one called I think it's like 2047. Well, yeah, I think that's what it is. But there are definitely Ready Player One has a lot of what I'm talking about right now in it, and Yeah, he just plugs into a headset and the world is in chaos. The world is crap. And they don't care about it because so in reality, he's nothing. But when he goes to the VR, he's got it going on. You know, he doesn't have to worry about reality because the VR is where he's invested. The VR is where he has his riches. And so, again, we know for those that serve the Most High, our riches are in heaven. But for those of this world, now their riches are going to, you know, come in the form of being in a virtual or augmented or even a mixed reality through spatial computing. I'll read this, Enoch. Now, check this out. This is real evil, real wicked. 1 second. All right. The Marshall Islands has introduced a national universal basic income. For those of you, and this was in December, go watch UBI. I have on the Successes Journey. I have a UBI class, and I called it the universal. I called it Unbelieving Begging Israelites. That's what I titled it, because at the end of the day, you're not believing that the Most High will provide for you, and you're not only not believing, but you're begging to be a part of this beast system. So that's why I titled it Unbelieving Begging Israelites. But it really stands for Universal Basic Income. And it has been implemented in the Marshall Islands. And the Marshall Islands is in the Pacific Ocean. It's between Hawaii and Australia. So in between Hawaii and Australia, it's in the Pacific Ocean. Okay, it's an island. And they have introduced UBI. And the UBI is a scheme that offers payments via cryptocurrency alongside more traditional methods, which experts say is the first scheme of its kind in the world. UBI has been implemented in the Marshall Islands. They're saying it's the first scheme of its kind in the world. Watch this. Watch this. Whew. There's always a dark side to, what's going on. Under the program, every resident citizen of the Marshall Islands will receive quarterly payments of about $200 as part of a government effort to ease cost of living pressures. Didn't we just read that with the Kikikomori? Slakia, I'm pronouncing that. I can't. But you know what I'm talking about. The Japanese phenomenon going on where people are reclusive and isolate themselves. They were saying they did that because of living pressures. And here we have this test of the UBI being done on the Marshall Islands because it says that it's going to help them ease the cost of living pressures. The first installments were paid in late November, that was 2025, and recipients can choose whether the money is paid into a bank account, by check, or delivered as cryptocurrency on the blockchain through a government-backed digital wallet. All right. Wow. The U.S. cares about the Marshall Islands and those people, and they're giving them $200 to help them with the cost of living pressures, and they're taking care of them and providing for them. Well, what a great thing. That sounds like a good program. They're getting paid for quarterly, which means every 3 months, $200 per person. Wow. Nice. And you can choose if you want in your bank account or a check or cryptocurrency. Okay. Do you know why they're giving them that? There's a reason why. Okay. The reason for them doing that is the scheme. They even call it a scheme. The first scheme is a scheme. The UBI scheme is backed by the U.S., which is compensating the Marshall Island residents for the decades of American nuclear testing that they were doing in the area, and all that radiation was pouring out on those people. And so this is a way for them to compensate those people for what they had to go through and the problems that they're still going through from all the radiation that was being dumped on their island. And that's why you can see in the background, I have a nuclear bomb exploding in the ocean. All that radiation, all those chemicals that were coming off from that were flying over to their island and poisoning the people. And imagine the long-term effects that it has on them. And yeah, like Sis Dorothy said, $200 is nothing. Yeah, that's like a slap in the face. That's an insult. You're dropping bombs, and now my people are suffering from all different types of ailments, and you're gonna give me $200. But think about it. They're not giving them $200 because they feel bad for them. They're giving them the money because it's a scheme. They are taking note and tracking and seeing how these people respond to the universal balance or basic income. They're seeing how they respond to it. It's just they're the guinea pig. Isn't that crazy? That they drop bombs, poison the people, and then have the nerve to give them this program where it's literally they're just they're the guinea pig of it. It's crazy, and these people are just being taken advantage of, and it's damn devils, straight up. Damn devils, the father of lies, over here telling them, making it seem like it's a good thing for them, but they're just guinea pigs in this whole social experiment that they got going on. So that's the reality of it. But you can see that this universal basic income is being implemented, and they're working on it because they know that the rate that AI is growing is taking hundreds of thousands of jobs to the point where they're going to have to supplement the people somehow. And so this is their solution. Again, the Hegelian dialectic, they have a plan, they cause the problem, and they give the solution. The plan is this UBI, right? But the plan is to get people into they're orchestrating the whole thing basically with the plan. They already know the outcome. They caused the problem. The problem is the AI taking all the jobs to where there's a shortage, even though they don't want to tell you that. And then the solution is, here they are coming as the knight in shining armor with the UBI, and you don't even have to work no more. In the UBI, if you watch the class, you'll see Elon Musk literally saying, oh, it'll be optional. Like if you want to go and work, you could still work, but you don't got to, because he calls it the universal high income, not universal basic income. He calls it the universal high income. So very interesting, but it's all a trap. It's all a part of the Web 3.0, because we've seen in the Web 3.0, they are using cryptocurrency on the blockchain, right? They are creating a so-called decentralized platform for people, but where they can have peer-to-peer. So they're like, with this crypto that the people are receiving, technically they can pay one another and sell to one another through this. But at what cost? At what cost are we receiving this? You're becoming a sellout in a sense, right? And then it comes with what? The mark of the beast. So you can't even partake in this program unless you take what? The mark of the beast. No man can buy or sell. So now you can't even partake in this anymore. So this is where we're headed, and this is the reality of it. I don't live in VR. I live in the real world. Now, let's get some good stuff. Go ahead, Enoch.
James chapter 1 verse 12. Blessed is a man that endureth temptation, For when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord hath promised to them that love him. Verse 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. For I, God, cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man.
God. So blessings upon those that can endure these temptations, because it's going to get harder. They're working on tempting you, working on drawing you in, and hoping that they can get you with all these different devices, trying to tailor it to your liking. For when he is tried, you're going to be tried. He shall receive the crown of life, which the Lord has promised to them that love him. Remember those people with the evil heart? They have no hope. We have hope that we're going to receive this promise. We're going to receive the crown of life, right? But we have to love him. How do we love him? If we keep his commandments. Let no man say when he is tempted, because you will be tempted. Even Christ himself was tempted. I am tempted of God. For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. It's not God tempting you. Who is it then? Let's get it.
James chapter 1 verse 14. For every man is tempted when he's drawn away of his own lust and enticed.
Who? Every man is tempted when what?
Of his own lust.
He is drawn away of his own lust.
And enticed.
Right. So it's you, your lust. You were enticed by your own desires. And so again, the web, the AI is tailoring what your lusts are, because it's tracking everything that you're doing on the web to where it can entangle you. And now you're drawn away by your own lust and enticed. And we just have to beware of it taking hold of you and capturing you, because then it can bring forth what? Go ahead with verse 15.
Verse 15. Then when lust hath convinced, it bringeth forth sin.
Wait, what? Read that again.
Then when lust hath convinced.
That doesn't say convinced.
Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death.
Right. So conceived means to be born. Okay. Conceived, like a child is conceived. It is born. So when the lust has conceived, that means now, man, you were lusting after something. You were enticed by something. One of these devices caught your attention. Now, when your lust has conceived, now you're actually going to commit the act. It brings forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, brings forth death. Now you got yourself caught up. Now you're in sin. Now you're amongst the ungodly, in a sense. You can repent, but man, something got a hold of you. And again, it's gonna get more difficult in a sense because of the Web 3.0, because they're tracking your every movement, your every swipe, everything you type in. All the data is being tracked on you.
And sold.
Yeah, gone. And so it's a warning. This lesson is a warning to our people. Be careful of what you're putting out there, because it's all being noted, and they're out to get you. They have a crafty counsel for a reason. And that's the hope that you join them in the world.
And make sure you don't click that accept cookies button, because you know what that does. I didn't know what that meant. I always used to just click it. Even on my school, every time I would click a link and read a book, it would always just say, before I read it, always say accept cookies, and then I would click it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine, but again, it depends on what you got going on. It's not. I clicked accept cookies too. They're gonna track what they want to track, right? I said something out loud the other day, and I go press Google, and it's already right there what I was just talking about. So they're listening to everything that I'm saying too. So it's not even just what you type; it's what you speak. It literally popped up. I can't slag it. My wife might remember what it was, but I literally showed her. Like I was talking to her. I pressed Google, and it popped up, and I said, "Look, it already popped up. They're listening to us talk." It's just the reality of it. They call it Big Brother. He's watching.
Even Alexa's supposed to, hear too.
Mm-hmm. This will be our final scripture family or scriptures, these two, and then I'll bid everyone a shalom. And all praises, we end in the Shabbat. So all praises to the Most High. Tawada for everyone. We still got 11 viewers, so all praises. Hope it was something applicable to your everyday life, something that you can utilize and something you can be aware of and just be more conscious of. And then I'll grab yours. Okay, let me grab this first. Sis Dorothy put Isaiah 14:13. For thou hast said in thine heart, I will ascend into heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will sit also upon the mount of the congregation in the sides of the north. Khan, in this particular one, is talking about Lucifer, which is someone that is put in rulership, right? So we know that these rulers of the earth are setting themselves up on high, and that's why you see the 1%, right? They call them the 1%ers. They are like Bezos, right? Just ridiculous amounts of money, and they're just getting more and more and more and hoarding up all this wealth for themselves. But how do you think they're doing it? By oppressing the common people. They're oppressing the common people, and they're hoarding all of this, and they're utilizing all this technology to accumulate all that wealth. That's why there's so many more billionaires now than there were just about a decade or two ago. There's so many more billionaires now. You can look it up yourself and see it. It will pop up like facts on that. I don't want to give an exact number or anything, but there's so many more billionaires now, and they're utilizing the technology to their advantage, and they're taking advantage. Oh, we're actually going to get into that. So let's go ahead. James 1:16.
James chapter 1 verse 16. Do not err, my beloved brethren. 2 Corinthians chapter 2 verse 11. Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right. James 1:16. Do not err. That means don't lose sight of our mission here. Don't go to the left hand. Don't go to the right hand. Stay on that straight and narrow, my beloved brethren. This is a warning to you all. I hope that we can fight this good fight, and that we don't fall into temptation and bring forth sin. That we remain blameless and pure and holy before the Most High, because we don't want to let Satan get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices.
Right.
We're not ignorant. After this class, what is it, like about a little over 2 hours, 2 hours, 20 minutes. I hope this has allowed you to learn something, so you are no longer ignorant of the devices that are here in the world that are trying to entice you and capture you and keep you in sin. Okay. And Khan, all praises. Good to see everybody in the chat. Just beautiful participation, beautiful comments, all in the spirit. And I hope again that this can be applicable to your everyday life. And don't let. And now when it talks about Satan, that's something that we're going to be going into pretty soon, Most High willing. So look forward to that in the hopefully near future. We'll be doing a whole breakdown on that in itself. But we can see everything that I've been talking about today. It's all the workings of man. Satan is an adversary. You see that everything that these men are creating, like think about the account of Tower of Babel, right? They were adversaries to the Most High. They weren't working for the Most High. They were working against him. They didn't have righteousness on their mind. They were adverse to the Most High. So when we think of Satan, think about who is setting up all these snares and traps for you to get caught into. Is it some spiritual demon named Satan, or is all these devices, crafty devices, created by the hands and wicked, evil imaginations of man? Ask yourself that. Now we know, Satan's children, yeah, you are of your father, the devil. You're talking to men here. And he said, you are the father of, or you are the children. Wait, let me grab it. It's Matthew 8:44. Let me grab it real quick, just so I'm not butchering it. So,
you are of your father, the devil.
Yeah, yep. Khan. Tawada Pakyad. And officer, when you want to close this out,
This is Danyala.
Oh, Slaggy, you sound like officer. Slaggy, so
No, I'm just playing because it is officer.
Hey, I was right though.
Call hello.
You tricked me though. I was crafty right there. All praises, but yeah, all praises, and I hope everyone was able to receive this and utilize this in your day-to-day life, and just be conscious of what you're doing on the web, because it is being tracked. And like Sis Yanti has said, she said, they most likely are recording us right now. How you are warning our people and us who are here commenting and listening. Khan, most definitely. And those are things that I definitely consider, but at the end of the day, I have no choice. I had to serve the Most High. I had to put this word out there. I had to put the warning out there. For me to live is Christ, and to die is gain. So it really just comes down to that. And we're fools for a Mashiach. So that's just really what it comes down to. There's no other way about it. That's just the Most High. We put that spirit on us to bring this forth. With our forefathers, like Judas Maccabeus and all his sons, their reins trembled, and it just, that's just what it is. Because when I see my people in these situations and how they have all this wickedness devised against us, I can't do nothing but just warn our people and put it out there for us to not fall victim to it. So all praises. And she said, and let those other nations listen and learn too. Khan, all praises. And Khan's sister Kaya, she said, share this family, because this is a warning to everyone, because again, this is on a global scale. So with that, family, I salute you all, and all praises, closing out the Shabbat. And with that, we say Shalom.
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 Chastised by Yahweh, our power, that's Israel. Better put respect on his presence, cause we Israel. All praises to the Most glory is real. Speaking on the oracles for the Torah homes is real. Is real. Is real. Fearless in the face of oppressors, baby, that is real. Back of these rapping OGs, baby, that is real.
Shalom.
But now a command.